Last night, one team finally overcame a months-long mountaintop, while the other continued to suffer in familiar ways. Tonight, the former strives for consistency, while the other, with the alarm bells ringing, looks to stop the bleeding. Game 2 between the Illinois Fighting Illini and the Alabama Crimson Tide, with just 7 days left in this regular season. Good evening, everyone, from the University of Illinois Ice Arena in Champaign, Illinois, and streaming live on the Illini Hockey Network. On the call, I'm George Corey. Last night, a 5-1 win in favor of Illinois. They broke it open in the second period with 3 goals in 3 minutes and a hat trick from freshman Anthony Verassi. That marked the end of a 5-game losing streak, but that feeling was outranked instead by the overcoming of a hurdle 2 months in the making. This team finally got out of the gate with clean play, appearing to mark an end to the Friday-Saturday discrepancies that have defined so far their 2024, and by fulfilling all 3 of their season-defining litmus tests in the process. 1, clean play and almost flawless puck handling. 2, being the more physical team and out-hitting one of the toughest kids in the ACHA. And 3, being the overall faster team, shutting off Alabama in the neutral zone and keeping them on defense with a lot of quick resets. Illinois controlled the pace with all 3 of those factors. Now tonight, they look for more of the same, now to uphold some newfound consistency and gain their first weekend sweep in 4 months' time. On the other side, what is celebration and potential for one becomes immediate urgency for the other, as Alabama has now lost 11 straight contests dating back to October. Besides Illinois beating them at their own game and keeping them in the D zone, the second line was also quiet last night, and Joseph Hughes struggled in net against elevated shots. But when the Tide did have the advantage in the first period, they were slowing the game down. A lot of 50-50 puck battles, stick play around the half wall, a muddying up, a murkifying of the game, if you will, that aligned with this team's strength of taking pucks away along the boards. It will be this which the Tide will have to ride for greater chances and more time applying pressure in their own O-zone. We might also see an Illinois-esque crowding of the crease and slot. Late in the game last night, after the game was already out of reach, co-head coaches Ian Habert and Michael Fairbanks experimented with that, and it produced decent results. A few rebound shots, at the very least keeping Illinois on the edge of their seats, and it gave them, in 5 minutes, half the number of shots that they had produced the entire game up to that point. So to end this losing streak, for Alabama, slow it down on defense, get it closer in on offense, and make Illinois hurt with that signature hard hitting all the way around. As the Tide come onto the ice again, the last time they won was against Illinois, of all teams, on their home ice in October. But since then, since that Saturday game, that second half of the series, which ended in a 19-round shootout in favor of Illinois 4 months ago, the Tide have not won since. So again, those factors it will require for them to break now an 11-game losing streak and give the 2 co-head coaches, only in their 6th game together at the helm, their first win. Down to the ice we go now for starting lineups and the national anthem. Both brought to you by Skender, the general contractors behind the premier construction experience. Visit skender.com to learn more. And as Illinois enters the fray, now we enter it to public address announcer Nick Miner to kick things off.
Crimson Tide and your University of Illinois Fighting Illini. And now for starting lineups, first for the Crimson Tide, starting left wing, right stroke, Downington, Pennsylvania. Massachusetts, number 25, Howland Mansky. Starting at center, Nashville, Tennessee, number 17, Evan Brown. Starting at right wing from Lake Forest, Illinois, number 22, Chris Mullenhoff. And starting at goalie from LaGrange, Illinois, number 31, Aaron Wheeler. First time coach with head coach Mike Fairbanks. All right, fans, get on your feet. It's time to meet your starting lineup. Starting at 11, number 20, Aston, Kansas State, number 28, Aslan Zizipa. Starting at 19, coach from Champion, Illinois, number 11, Atticus Helper. Starting at 11, from Chattanooga, Illinois, number 44, Matthew Donald. Starting at center from Moscow, Rachel, number 17, Alexander McBee. Starting at right wing from Wheaton, Illinois, number 23, Anthony Barassi. And starting at goalie from North Barrington, Illinois, number 1, Ben Nazareth. The lineup coach by assistant coaches Tyler Wood, John King, and coaches John Miller. Our officials tonight are Brian Shepherd, D-Ray Tucker, David Markson, and Warren. Now, if you're able, please rise for the ball hats for the singing of our national anthem, performed by Flag Guys Girl and Smith.
Starting lineups again brought to you by Skender, the general contractors behind the premier construction experience. Visit skender.com to learn more. And a new defensive combination for Alabama getting the start in the form of Louis DeCola and Ryan Matustik. Both were very involved in yesterday's game, and the third line getting the start for the Tide up front. We talked about it, how the second line was limited really last night. Outside of Nate Byron being the only one active, everyone else on both forward and defense in that department for the Tide was quiet. Max Eckstein, Ralph Mundy, two very reliable players for the Tide, were limited last night. So what do Michael Fairbanks and Ian Habert do to try and get folks below the first line active? Instead, it's the third line starting tonight, maybe to try and boost that and to provide more quality time outside of that top. And a familiar face in goal tonight for the Tide, Aaron Weiler, the LaGrange, Illinois native, who had one of the best games of his 3-year career in this building as a freshman 2 years ago. As we are underway, face-off rolls all the way around towards the blue line. Quick pass from Helfer to Matviv, and he sends that one right in, testing Weiler right away, and that ends up in the netting. And that game, the last time Illinois hosted Alabama prior to this weekend, in this building 2 years ago, Aaron Weiler got the start as a freshman, and he had play after play to keep his team in it, particularly in that second period. Illinois fired everything at him, the kitchen sink, and he was able to answer all of it and keep the Tide within one goal. Ultimately, Illinois was able to pull through, in part on a 13-game home win streak. That was 2 years ago. This is now as another freshman, Anthony Verassi, tried to make something happen behind the trapezoid. That one now at the near side half wall, pulled out by the Tide. Can the Illini keep it in, however? That one trickles off the stick of Matt Vive close, but now taken by Alabama and cleared by Mansfield. And iced as well. And some familiar faces from both teams in that front, from both sides in that game 2 years ago. Again, the one where Weiler was very involved. Greg Simmons, now the captain for the Tide. One of their offensive anchors, along with players like Chicago native Gianni Dini on that list as well. Will Zeke, the former team captain, who's now with the program as an assistant, carried the Tide offensively in that series in particular. And Weiler played a big role as well, so looking maybe to rekindle some of that energy now as he gets the start. Hasn't really had it since that freshman year, only his second game. Check that, only his third game in net entering tonight, as that one now in the Illinois zone, pulled out towards the half wall. The Tide looking to gain possession of it, rushing backwards, try and hold on to that. He cannot there. Now a chase down for it between Fink and Ettingen. Fink gives Ettingen a snow shower before the latter pummels him into the boards. Illinois trying to control. David Ettingen right there, sends it around the trapezoid. Louis DeCola, first one to grab it, but he's undermanned, now in the near side corner. He gets hit into the boards as Illinois looks to take it away. A red sweater comes to help him. Still being fought for. Now towards the half wall on that near side, and again cleared by the Tide. Bogdanov back in, however, waits for his line mates to join him. Killing time as his line mates will get a line change here. Still trying to hold on to it. Can Patrick McDonough bail him out off of that change? And he's forced to the ground by that appears to be Fink. Chase down for it now between Nathan Dash and Max Sextro. Sextro hammers Dash into the boards, but Illinois controls. Near side, trying to pull that out, Anderson. Kept to the outside twice, forced to give up the puck, now vying for it in the corner as he sends a man down. That's Parks Wallace. McDonough in the trapezoid, able to beat him to it though. Chandler Bilodeau unable to keep it in on the other side. Dash, and Illinois will reset. Alabama employing some speed here in the last 20-30 seconds, fresh off of keeping the game on the outside and slowing it down as that one ice. So mostly back to your roots of the 50-50 puck battles. Again, that helped the Tide yesterday when they were able to control things in the first period before they were able to apply some speed very early. Now a face-off in the Illinois doghouse for the first time tonight. Third line on for the Illini. It'll be Aiden Taylor alongside Max Eckstein. So now here's the second line for the Tide. Again, look for Eckstein and Mundy. They were quiet last night. And again, look for the Tide to get them involved. Taylor wins the face-off for Illinois, but that one goes through Anthony Verassi. Over to the near side now, picked off by Atticus Helfer. Still being fought for, taken away. Matthew McDonald trying to hold on to that. Justin Heiler beating him to it for the time being. Picked off. McDonald centering pass. A few more sticks cancel each other out, and that one will head towards the half wall on the near side. Alexander Matveev across the ice. Fanning on that right there is Zhuzhebetkov. That gives the Tide the puck with numbers, although Zhuzhebetkov's able to body a man out of the way and deny that odd man rush. Atticus Helfer now in the middle of the ice, now to his left with a few men on either side of him, and smartly resets. 3 minutes into this first period, only 2 shots applied thus far. Across to Matthew McDonald, tries to go through the legs of Ralph Mundy. Now opposed by Nate Byron, but again forced to the outside. The Tide doing a good job of forcing the Illini to the outside thus far. Pulled out to Atticus Helfer now. Illinois has responded to that outside pressure with a few swings now in their own offensive zone. Zhuzhebetkov unable to handle it for the second time in a row now. That becomes a 50-50 puck battle before it's controlled by the Tide on the far side. Max Eckstein moving quickly, trying to go through a man, could not. Great defense by Matthew McDonald there. Now trying to do the same thing there as Zhuzhebetkov. Atticus Helfer right behind him to gather the puck. Long shift here for the top line defense for Illinois, and the second line now as Bogdanov fires and a save made by Weiler. And again, the second line in for the Tide. Long shift. Coming up on 2 minutes now, consecutive for these lines. As now Luke Alpe and Joe Dorian, another new defensive pairing for Illinois. And that will be dumped in, chasing after it, Bailey McCarthy. Again on that near side, McCarthy looks for an outlet, Arras right in front. Joe Dorian fires, trying to play the ricochet game now. David Ettingen has to run after that and gets to it. Ettingen harassed from behind. Bogdanov trying to bail him out. Pulled out, back to Ettingen, back to the point. Will Illinois swing it again? They'll play catch, trying to gain some more separation here, but unable to is Ettingen. Good defense for the Tide. Ettingen looking to go across the ice now. Instead feeds it closer to Bogdanov. Short passes here from Illinois over the last few minutes, although Joe Dorian has been wide open on the near side. McCarthy trying to go around. Man, he's body checked by Louis DeCola. Tried to find a feed in the high slot. A few sticks cancel each other out, and that denies that from Bogdanov. Back to that corner now. Ettingen and DeCola, 24 against 24, going for it for Illinois, but pulled out. Shot in the high slot, and a save made by Weiler. Back to the near side now. Again, long ice time, long shift here for these second and third lines for these teams, but a penalty coming now against Alabama. 5 minutes into the game, and Illinois will go on the power play. Penalty appeared to be due to a hit that was applied in the near side corner in the Tide zone, and going into the box, that appears to be Grant Alhon. It is. So Illinois with an early power play here and a chance to cash in. The power play was how they got their first goal last night. And again, yesterday, they were able to reestablish their down low presence. So how can you do that here if you're Illinois? No Dorian, no Matveev in the game right now. They're the two players who love to screen and cause mayhem right in front. Zhuzhebetkov now off that face-off win from Illinois. Now Nathan Dash. Zhuzhebetkov had a lane on the near side. Too many Alabama players in front now. Dash fires just wide. Trying to run after that one, he could not. Still being fought for, looks for a centering pass, but good denial there, right in front from Chandler Bilodeau. It's Alabama now crowding in front, often sending two players to Illinois' one, but right in front, and the shot goes too high there. That one off the stick of Bailey McCarthy. Alabama's crowding the crease, but the Illini are still getting plenty of players and chances in front of that. Trying to go in again, deflection, still alive to the left of Weiler. Illinois pulls it out in the trapezoid. They'll try it again. Third shot here on this power play. All three of them have been relatively close. Now Zhuzhebetkov near side has a lane and fires, and wide. Running after that one to try and keep it in. Verasi, yes he can, although he's hit at the Alabama bench. Bailey McCarthy looking for it, and now Ettingen. A lot of close passing here from Illinois when they've been in trouble to keep the puck alive. Not just in the power play, but in the 5-on-5 as well. It's a shot from the point, too high. Now Zhuzhebetkov on the near side. 50 seconds left on the penalty to Alheim. Illinois swings, quick shot, too many deflections, and that will become a souvenir. So Illinois getting their fair share of chances in on the Illinois native, Aaron Weiler, in net tonight for the Tide. 5 having been shot, none having gone through. 44 seconds left on an early power play for the Illini. 6.5 minutes into this one. Face-off won by Bogdanov. Helfer looked for a redirect, too high. Nick Anderson chasing after that one. 2-on-1 puck battle. Another penalty coming here, and this one might be against Nick Anderson for Illinois. The linesman signals interference. And let's see who it is. Yes, it is Nick Anderson for Illinois. So that will wipe off the rest of this Illini power play. Both penalties coming in very similar fashion in the exact same spot on the ice. So now 35 seconds of 4-on-4 and a minute 25 after that of an Alabama power play. The 4-on-4 yesterday, in the 2 times that it was a factor, did favor Illinois with, again, more speed and more ice to work with. Face-off, trying to get that towards the net there was Lopez. He could not. Alec Bogdanov on the near side, gains the zone, feeds it back to Helfer, and gets tripped in the process. Helfer tried to make a man miss there, instead sends it to the far side for Zhuzhebetkov. 20 seconds left on the 4-on-4. Helfer thought about going in. Now we'll get in close, look for a deflection. Pop flied back to the wall. 10 seconds on the 4-on-4. Ettingen across. Back to Helfer. Looking for a feed in front. He scores! Atticus Helfer with a beautiful feed from the near side point, and the touch pass goes from Zhuzhebetkov, his first goal in an Illinois uniform. Only the second game where those two have been paired together on defense, Helfer and Zhuzhebetkov. And we wondered, with all the changes, all the injuries that Illinois would have, how would those pairings, how would that affect the chemistry of this defense? And it hasn't really. The Illini have been right there, same old Illinois on the chemistry front. And on the offensive side, it showed right there. Helfer to Zhuzhebetkov, a beautiful touch pass right in front for a 4-on-4 goal 7 minutes into this game. That one ends up on net, poked away there and cleared by Luke Alpin. Now we will have a minute of an Alabama power play as it's 5-on-4 with Nick Anderson in the box. That goal from Zhuzhebetkov marked the end of Grant Alheim's time behind glass. And now Alabama trying to get set, rolling all the way around to Simmons, denied from a shot by Matt Reeves. Second chance now, off the post. Illinois looks to clear. Great placement right there to deny that from Alexander Matveev. And we talked about it. Matveev and Dorian have paid off in spades for Illinois in special teams, whether it's taking away rebounds or creating chaos in front on either side of the ice. Matveev continuing to do so here. Alabama trying to get set as they send it to the near side. Shot from Bilodeau, saved by Missouri. 19 seconds left on the minor penalty. Again, and two, it has been a long road for Atticus Helfer for this team, for Illinois. Take you back to 2 years ago, he was essentially leading the team's head coaching search. He was a defenseman for 3 years, found himself as the top line left winger to start this year, almost in a Brent Burns role. And with a lot of the injuries to Illinois, particularly with Gregory Ettingen still being sidelined in concussion protocol, he has moved back to left defense and fit in very well with Zhuzhebetkov. No matter who it is on the power play in terms of finding chemistry, seems like Atticus Helfer can do that. Right in front, unable to get stick the puck right there. Off the deflection for the trapezoid was Eckstein. 50-50 puck battle now. Out of the box comes Anderson, and we're back to 5-on-5. Helfer trying to nab that through traffic in his own trapezoid. Pushed out now to Zhuzhebetkov, and he will clear. Ends up on net, no icing. Chase down for it now between Ettingen and Louis DeCola. Won by the Tide, but kept in the Alabama zone. And now taken to neutral ice. Line change for Illinois. 9 minutes having gone by here in this first period. Again, the lone goal coming on the power play from Aslan Zhuzhebetkov. Check that on the 4-on-4 from Zhuzhebetkov just a few minutes ago. And an icing call that will send things back to the north end of the ice. And two for Zhuzhebetkov. Since joining this team at the start of the year, he started on the third line. He had really popped right into place there, and his increased intensity, good use of the stick, and speed, they really rubbed off on his line mates. And really at the start of the semester for Illinois, a big reason why they were able to get more quality playing time from their two bottom lines was because of his impact. And again, at any level in this sport, that's one of the oldest and most reliable separators between the men and the boys. Is how much production can you get from your bottom two lines? Zhuzhebetkov has made the ascent from third line defense to, with Harrison Slovic out now, the top line defense. And he has certainly provided a spark for Illinois in a team that is already very deep and very productive defensively. Tried to get it into McDonald, couldn't do anything there. Illinois in a diamond formation there on the 5-on-5, and that nearly produced a chance from the high slot. Joe Dorian now back on the near side, forced to his left in neutral ice, feeds it in. And Matthew McDonald tries to chase. In neutral ice now, but harassed from behind there is Molapaw, and taken by Illinois. Icing now called, late call, but the right call, 10 minutes and 14 seconds into this game. Line change for Alabama, and it's the top line along with the second line defense. Ralph Mundy leading the way in the ladder department there for the Tide. And again, how can you get your second and third lines involved if you're Alabama? They were quiet last night. Emmett Joy off the faceoff clears that. Back to Verassi. Illinois 3-on-4 here. A man forced to his right. McDonald trying to go in off the trapezoid there. 3 blue sweaters converge on it. Illinois still fighting for it, and they pull it out despite being under a man to start that possession. Anderson back to Verassi. Has a lane, fires wide. Delayed clear there, is unable to handle it. Mundy, now he's harassed on the forecheck on the near side. That becomes a 50-50 puck battle. Illinois wins the possession. Right in front, he scores! Matthew McDonald in the right place at the right time. We've seen him do that so many times in his sophomore campaign for Illinois. And we just talked about him, Ralph Mundy. How can he get involved? That's going to be one he's going to want to have back, as he had it all alone in the near side corner, but was unable to handle it, unable to reorient his body, turn himself around to grab that puck which was behind him, and that allowed Illinois to get active on one of their greatest strengths, the forecheck. And now 2 goals in a row that have been right in front of Aaron Weiler. Again, Illinois getting active in the crease. So if it wasn't already desperation time for Alabama, now it definitely is. Patrick McDonough looks to clear, and that ends up in the Illinois bench. That might also draw a penalty, as well as unhappy with that call and chirping with some Illini there is Chris Molopon. The hand was raised from the linesman, and there you go, Molopon into the box for Alabama. Not a clean game by any means for the Tide to start things out. And Illinois looks to go back on the power play attack. 11 minutes into the game, they already have 2 goals on just 4 shots. 1 off a touch pass and 1 off of a rebound right in front of the net. Aaron Weiler has tried to recapture some of that freshman magic he had when his team was in this building 2 years ago. The hat has come up empty thus far. Helfer fires in, still alive in front off that save. Helfer able to keep it in as that one went back towards the point. Another shot from Matveev, trickles back towards the trapezoid. Swinging it around, Matveev another one-timer, still alive in the slot. Karams back out to Anderson. Helfer and Anderson play catch near side. Helfer another one-timer and wide. Able to hold on to it, Matveev. Illinois very quickly with the ability to reset. Anderson back to Helfer. They're going in. Matveev thought about it, now sends one wide. Illinois so quick on the ability to reset. They're keeping the Tide in their own D zone as that shot goes off the post from Nick Anderson. It's a familiar sight for Alabama fans, and one you've wanted to shed really this entire season. Illinois' placement and their puck handling, as Bogdanov takes that away off a 50-50 puck battle there, have reigned supreme in the ability to get reset very quickly and go right back on the attack as soon as a shot goes wide or is saved. Now to the near side, Bogdanov at the point. Trades places with Atticus Helfer, but a beautiful poke check there by Evan Brown to give Alabama their first clear and a line change. Pass from Mazurek to Helfer. Helfer waits before he's body checked. Now running after that one, Matveev. Matveev at the half wall on the near side, looks to get it back to the point. He does. Now feeding it to the far side. Give and go with Zhuzhebetkov in the slot. Fires, save made by Weiler. Still alive in the trapezoid. That one Karams out. Illinois still able to hold on to it here as Alabama unable to finish the job. That was Will Cox in there who had it lost from his stick right in front of the net. That gives Illinois the possession back. Near side, Zhuzhebetkov thought about it. And now to the far side for Matveev. Out of the box now comes Molopon. Right in front, still alive in the blue paint. Play stopped, and some more exchanges after the whistle as Alabama able to kill off that penalty by the slimmest of margins. The Tide were able to hold on. 6:53 left in period number 1. Far side faceoff now between Taylor and King. Won by Illinois again. Illinois started to develop a monopoly on these faceoffs as that shot deflected from the offset. Now two men converge, and that will be a penalty. Huge hit right there, and from his knees, sending a few punches there, was Louis DeCola. That appeared to be Joe Dorian and Bailey McCarthy combining for a hit on DeCola, sandwiching him into the boards on the near side. Rather, it was Patrick McDonough along with Dorian, and McDonough will spend time in the box. So now Alabama, despite the fact that you have to take the mental game out of it and realize that you're only one goal away from making this interesting. You have a golden opportunity here back on the power play. So now how can you apply some of the very pressure that Illinois just applied on you? How can you get set off of shots very quickly? How can you turn rebounds? How can you collect? How can you get it back to the point? How can you recirculate the puck? How quickly can you do that? We just saw Illinois with a masterclass in it here, and the Tide will look to do the same. That's an interesting situation there. Patrick McDonough going to the locker room. It appears he has just been ejected for that hit, and Frank Adante will take his place in the box. McDonough's night cut very short for that hit. It is a 5-minute major. And again, Frank Adante will serve that time. So for 5 of the next 6.5 minutes to end the period, Alabama will be on the power play and a golden opportunity to gain a goal back. In the trapezoid now, trying to hold on to that is Parks Wallace. He will collect that one. That's it back, trying for a feed. Beautiful positioning there by Alpe to deny that. And now Illinois able to finish the job. It's Bogdanoff on the clear. Now Wallace running through traffic, sends that to his left. Too hot for Simmons to handle. He's forced off it by Zhuzhabetkov, but gets help there from Evan Brown. Alabama controls again. Bilodeau fires. Glove save by Mazurek to his left. Again, 6 minutes left in the period. 4 minutes, 14 seconds of that time. Alabama on the power play. A 5-minute major for Illinois' Patrick McDonough. And the third line centerman is done for the evening. So now again, if you're Alabama, you need to get one back. You have a golden opportunity here. The second line is in for the Tide. What better opportunity to get those middle two lines active again and to cut Illinois' lead in half. Illini aren't able to clear it now. DeCola sends it, although too hot to handle. And Mazurek will control that with his stick. Illinois trying to clear it again, kept in by Max Eckstein. Near side, Calvin Mansfield right there, pulled out by Molopah. He fires one. Save made by Mazurek. Playing catch, that one will carry him all the way around. Play stopped in the meantime before Mansfield able to get his stick on it. And Alabama incredulous as to why. And now Aslan Zhuzhabetkov will head to the box for Illinois. Incidental minor penalties, it appears. Zhuzhabetkov and Jensen Lopez into the box. Unclear as to why, unclear as to the reason or the call, but Zhuzhabetkov and Lopez will both spend the next 2 minutes behind glass. 3 minutes, 45 seconds left on the major penalty for Illinois, so everything will resume as normal here. 5-on-4 for the Tide. And it's still that second line, Nate Byron leading things for the Tide. Face-off still being fought for around the dot before it's cleared with a backhand by Illinois. Again, Illinois has been able to have a monopoly. They've developed a monopoly on these face-offs as this series has gone later into the night. And it's really hurt Alabama's ability to get anything going on this power play in particular. Mansfield to the far side to DeCola. Look for a feed. Save made by Missouri. A beauty. Another chance goes wide right there. Illinois still controlling before the net becomes dislodged. Beautiful pass, but Missouri again with a stretch save from one side of the net to the other. We have really seen him develop that part of his game over the last month and change. That save was as pretty as they come. The complete left side of the net exposed. Open feed, not picked off by Illinois. An open chance from about 15 feet, and beautiful reaction time and covering distance there by Missouri. That was the closest Alabama has gotten to a goal. Beautiful pass, but a beautiful save as well. The Tide will look to do it again, and for Illinois, that's a little bit of a wake-up call to shut down the slot in the middle of the ice. Fink now getting in, sends that across, although unable to handle that, Wallace, and those two will have to reset. Fink looking to move in, playing catch with Parks Wallace. Thought about it, goes around, Bogdanoff fires, still alive in the crease, and pulled back out and cleared by Illinois. 3 minutes left of the 5-on-4, and 4.5 left in period number 1. What a killer this would be if Illinois is able to kill off this 5-on-3 as the shot from Bilodeau cleared again by Illinois. What a psychological killer that is. You had 5 minutes and some pretty good plays on the process, at least thus far for Alabama. 5 minutes of man advantage hockey, and you couldn't cash in. If Illinois can finish the job, that's a backbreaker going into the first intermission. Alabama looking to make sure that doesn't happen. But a beautiful poke there from Matveev, and now he runs after it. 2-on-2 here. Matveev has Verasi to his left. Matveev trapped in the corner, trying to go around one man, gains leverage here, but 2-on-3 becomes 2-on-5. Verasi now in the trapezoid, still has an angle and fires one, turned aside by Weiler. 2 minutes left on the 5-on-4. Again, it has been all Illinois. They're starting to look like how they were last night in terms of controlling the neutral zone and shutting down Alabama. Trying to go around there. He does gain the zone as Molapaw, snow shower, and a reset. Good play there by Molapaw to keep Illinois away and allow the Tide to get set up, although that shot goes into the netting, and the Tide will have to win the faceoff. 3:15 left on the clock in period number 1. 1:34 left on the Tide power play. And 2, with Illinois winning a lot of these faceoffs, it hasn't been Alexander Matveev in the dot a lot. It's been Alec Bogdanoff, the team's second best centerman. Again, in crunch time, you'd expect them to go to Matveev, but really over the last 2 weeks, they've gone to Bogdanoff, and the results have been pretty comparable. So Illinois has done this without really having to heavily rely on their best centerman. That deflected, unable to get stick the puck there and send it close, was Molapaw. Illinois looking to clear, feeding it, although unable to handle that, Aiden Taylor. Taylor trying to bump Louis DeCola off the puck, he cannot. Now 60 seconds left. There's a beautiful takeaway there from Taylor. Will kill more time. Again, if Alabama can't get a goal in the next 2.5 minutes, what an absolute backbreaker psychologically that has to be, that Illinois has killed off a 5-minute major. Eckstein now with 35 seconds left of the man advantage. DeCola shot deflected. Again, great positioning, great placement, great puck deflection from Illinois. All 3 of those have been able to deny the Tide here in the last 4.5 minutes. Right on cue there, full body block from Bogdanoff as that one went off his leg. Nate Byron back with it, Bogdanoff opposing him. Byron fires, turned aside by Missouri. 10 seconds left as now Illinois able to clear. Last gasp here for the Tide off an Illini line change. Eckstein forced to his right, tries to find an outlet, and instead will just feed it in, and that does it. Illinois kills off 5 minutes of a man advantage. Again, psychological backbreaker, but if you're the Tide, you have to remember with how much Illinois has controlled this first period. If you look at the stat sheet, if you look at the stylistic measures and things like face-offs, puck management, speed, Illinois has controlled every one of them. But sometimes you have to take that mental component out of it. You're still only 2 goals down. And you're very close to making it interesting as play whistled dead. Matveev got in the way right there. That might be another penalty. Again, if you're Alabama, you need to take the mental component out of it. You're only down 2 goals. You're only 1 goal away from making this interesting and at least getting in the headspace that you should be in right now. As the linesman will discuss things over, wanting to have a word right there is Joe Dorian. The linesman now talking things over with John Opilka as Anthony Verassi goes into the box. So another penalty for Illinois. By no means really a clean game from them either. And again, 36 seconds of that penalty will bleed over into period number 2, unless Alabama can't get one back. Very interesting. Although Anthony Verassi does go in the box for Illinois, we will have a neutral zone face-off. Not just that, Illinois skates out 5, so no power play for the Tide. Verassi is in the box. Unclear as to why, however. That's the 3rd time that's happened this week, where multiple penalties have been called, or 2 penalties have been called in the case of Friday night, and only 1 player goes into the box. Unclear as to why that is. Trying to take that one away now in the trapezoid. Aiden Taylor sending a man down right there. Stingy defense there against Evan Brown, and that gives Frank Adante the puck for Illinois. Feeding it across, that's Andrew McLean. Inside of a minute now as McLean fires, directed from the onset by Alabama. Diving to keep that in, McLean. Now Ralph Mundy will circle back. Mundy on the near side, 35 seconds left in the first period. Mundy turns all the way around. Illinois doing a good job denying the Tide to the middle as that shot saved by Mazurek and directed back to the far side corner. Parker King hit as he tried to recover it. Again, Illinois has continued to out-hit Alabama and be the more physical team. Now Luke Alpe with 15 seconds left. 2 players bunched to his right. Tried to feed a man in front, could not. And Alabama with the puck now with 5 seconds left. Unable to handle that neutral zone battle, and that will just about finish period number 1. So Illinois with 2 early goals. It was Matthew McDonald and it was Aslan Zhuzhbetkov, and they really controlled every single facet of this first period. So Alabama, the battle will be mental as much as it will physical to realize you're only 1 goal away from making this interesting. 2-0 in favor of Illinois after period number 1. We'll be back for the second period after this. getting set for period number 2 in a situation where statistically and stylistically it looked like Illinois controlled every facet of that first period. But if you're Alabama, you need to remember you're only down 2 goals and you're really 1 goal away from making this interesting and at least getting you back in the headspace of it being a close game. They will have 36 seconds to start. As they look to get back in this game and make it closer. Face off won by the Tide, pulled out now. They will reset in their own defensive zone. Sent quickly to the other side now before that is iced. And the chirping between Alabama and Illinois, and the chirping between Alabama and the linesmen continue. That time it was Mansfield and Zhuzhebetkov, and we saw a little bit of that last night from the Tide in terms of, talking a lot, maybe trying to get under the skins of opposing players. Face off now in their own zone. They win it, and they look to clear, cutting it off. Zhuzhebetkov on the near side. Tide are able to take it out. Molopov sends that across now to Evan Brown. Brown able to get through traffic, in on goal! And a save made by Mazurek before he bottles it up to his right. First real instance of transition hockey in this game, in a way certainly for Alabama to get back in it. But again, the woes on their end have been the inability to get set for long periods of time in the offensive zone. Quick shot off the face-off there, deflected right away from Bogdanov. And 2, that's gone the other way. Illinois has done nothing but get set, and get set very quickly, keeping the Tide on defense. They will look to do just that now as Joe Dorian has to rush back in his own doghouse to control. Alpe back to the near side. Dorian and Alpe play catch. Illinois will be patient on the clear. Trying to hold on to that right there is McCarthy before it trickles into the Illinois bench. That face-off deflects all the way back to the similar location for Illinois. Alpe will now delegate and send to his left. That pass floated across. David Ettingen trying to make contact with it, beating him to it. Parks Wallace. Laying Wallace out right there is Zhuzhebetkov, but now Alabama the other way with numbers. Inside, full body block, and another chance right there, denied off the stick of Austin Fink. Now to the other side, Illinois working with a 2-on-3, chipping it in, and not bothering to chase is Bailey McCarthy. Line change for Illinois. Alabama trying to work quickly. Alpe cuts it off and gets some help there from Mazurek. Greg Simmons on the near side. Bilodeau joins him. Alpe in the middle of that for Illinois. 2-on-2 becomes a 3-on-2. Puck battle pulled back out to the point and taken by Illinois. Moving quickly, Frank Adate trying to get it to his left, denied by Fink. And now Alabama with greater numbers. Taking off the puck right there is Andrew McLean. Tide will control. Now Simmons harassed from either side. That becomes another 50-50 puck battle. Again, more puck battles in this game, but it hasn't slowed Illinois down as much as it did last night. So now the Illini will look to get reset 2 minutes into this second period. In the corner on the near side, another puck battle for it. Fink in the middle of that for the Tide. Adante there for Illinois before he has to rush back to the bench. Trying to clear that though. That goes off a blue sweater. And now Fink able to clear it the second time. Some more chips and chases here before that one is cleared by Illinois. Joe Dorian near side. Aiden Taylor now tried to feed it in front. Save made by Weiler. And a beauty right there. Taking the other side now. And back it goes to Ben Mazurek, and he will stop that. As Illinois will converge in front of the net, you're starting to see an increase in the transition hockey play here for both teams, and it's certainly worked in favor of Alabama, although very early in this second period. So maybe that's what the tide is turning to try and get back in this game. Haven't had a lot of success in the set thus far, really through 4 periods and change of this series, so trying to go to another outlet. Aiden Taylor, speaking of transition hockey, firing one, turned aside now, kept alive by McDonald, but he's undermanned there, is taking that now, Nate Byron. Will Coxon, and that will be poked away. Quick feed again. Illinois making quick work of their own D zone and neutral zone. Taylor in front, score! Illinois putting on an absolute passing clinic tonight. Taylor to Matveev, the full length of the ice. First, a beautiful feed on the other side to Taylor from Illinois' defensive zone back to him. And then he's forced to his right, finds a beautiful trailing Alexander Matveev for Illinois' 3rd goal and to Matveev's 9th goal of the season. And as Alabama takes that away there and moving quickly on the other side, Evan Brown, he's forced to the outside, feeds one in, still in front there, too high, and back into the trapezoid. Very pesky with the stick in with the hands is Calvin Mansfield. 50-50 puck battle there. And to that goal for Illinois, that wasn't just Matveev getting in the right spot. Aiden Taylor had 2 options in the exact same passing lane. One right in the low slot, and then Matveev towards the far side dot to provide that. So Illinois not only making quick work of both the width of the ice and the length of the ice, but also providing multiple options for Aiden Taylor as he looked to get it back close. And the transition hockey certainly had an impact on Alabama. They were able to get more shots off, but it's Illinois that cashes in. The tide turned to another game to try and attempt a solution, and Illinois beats them to it before they can try and cash in. We've seen that with the physicality, we've seen that with the crowding of the puck. The tide have turned to different things, and just as it seemed like Alabama through 4 periods of this series has been able to get the upper hand on it, Illinois takes it away with a goal, or in the case of the previous period, a penalty kill. Face off now to the right of Missouri, won by Simmons. Bilodeau's shot is deflected into the trapezoid. Dorian looks to clear. McCarthy will do the same now, and he'll be patient with it as it's back to Luke Alpe. Now David Ettingen on the near side. That one trickles back into the Alabama zone. Aaron Weiler has to get out of the net before he feeds that to his left. Parks Wallace sent across. Good feed right there. Next, Sextro fires, turned aside, trying to shove it back in right there before that ends up in the trapezoid, and a penalty coming for that hit right behind Ben Mazurek. And it will be against Illinois. Into the box is Caleb Santiago, the freshman, for the hit in the trapezoid. So probably really Illinois' only blemish on the night being perhaps too many penalties, although it comes with the nature of physicality, and with that you have to be able to take hits and you have to be able to kill off penalties. That is just part of being the more physical team and laying a lot of hits in hockey games, and they've been able to withstand those drawbacks so far today, killing off many penalties. They'll try and do it one more time. Can Alabama, however, eliminate really the psychological impacts of the last 25 minutes of hockey and bring themselves to within 1 goal? Again, it doesn't feel like a 2-goal lead, but that's exactly what it is. And as play is stopped, and another penalty might be coming, and interference has been called. Illinois not happy. This might be a 5-on-3.
It appeared on the near side, Zhuzhebetkov had to be restrained right there as he was not happy. Hold on, Zhuzhebetkov not happy, but Alabama will get called with the penalty. As heading into the box there is Jensen Lopez. Man, Zhuzhebetkov was hot and had to be held back by some of his players. It appeared to be directed towards the linesman, but the call will instead go the other way. Jensen Lopez into the box for the second time tonight against the Tide. So now Alabama with a golden chance to get back in this game, and they've shot themselves in the foot again with a 4-on-4. Illinois' first goal was on a 4-on-4 in this game. They look to get one more back. Here's McCarthy fires, turned aside by Weiler before he gets shoved back into the corner. Now Fink looks to gain some space here. It's a 4-on-4 for the next minute 4. Fink still has it, although he's forced all the way to the far side corner before he's taken off the puck by Illinois. A red sweater comes to bail him out. Right there is Evan Brown to give Fink the puck in the trapezoid. Looks for a feed, has it, high slot, goes around a man looking for a backhand there. Wallace still has it before he sent it, and Mazurek denied it. Wallace had plenty of options right off the bat, just couldn't do anything there in shooting. Now back the other way, a shot from Dash and a save from Weiler. The net was open briefly, although Dash wasn't able to do anything there off of some great defense from Parks Wallace. Near side at the half wall, Alabama looks to clear, and they do. Bogdanov still trying to hold on to it. A few sticks cancel each other out now before it's Nathan Dash with Alpe to his left. Matveev circling back. Illinois with 3 players out of the 4 in their own D zone as they look to move as a unit here and sustain something in the offensive part of the ice. Matveev gains it, forced all the way around now. Wraparound chance and a save made off the left pad of Weiler. Out of the box now comes Santiago. Illinois power play for the next 30 seconds. How quickly can the Illini get set? That's 25 seconds now of the man advantage. They're still in their own D zone. The second line alongside McDonald, Matveev, and the man with the puck, Joe Dorian, right now. On the near side, gains it, tries to go around a man, cannot. Steadfast defense right there from Ben Wilcoxon. Turnover, however, gives it to Illinois. Trying for another centering pass, but forced all the way to the periphery is Dorian again. Feeds it right there to Zhuzhebetkov. And we're back to 5-on-5, but Illinois still looking at control. Right in front there, Matveev, that trickled in, turned aside by Weiler. Fanning on that clear attempt right there is Ralph Mundy. So far, this has been a game he's going to want to forget. Zhuzhebetkov having to evade Max Sextro, still has it at the near side point, moves to his left. Sextro with great defense to deny that shot. Now looking for a feed from McDonald, save made, tried for a backhand chance, couldn't get one in the high slot, and back comes Alabama. Sextro tried to pass it in. Great denial right there. Another one he's going to want to have back. He tried to get fancy. He had a one-on-one in a lane. As right there, and a save made off the stick of Zhuzhebetkov. Sextro tried to get fancy. He should have done what Zhuzhebetkov just did and fired when he had the chance. Now the other way in neutral ice. Helfer. And Illinois will reset now. 8 minutes having gone by here in this second period. Illinois has tacked on one more to make it a 3-0 game. Another touch pass attempt there. Bogdanov unable to grab it. And that is a souvenir. We have not seen those quick style touch passes from Illinois a lot this season. It was the source of Alabama's lone goal last night, although we've really seen 3 or 4 from Illinois tonight that have defined how this game has gone. Their first goal in particular, a few more that nearly went through. They just couldn't finish the job and get full stick to puck, and what ended up trying to be a touch pass turned out just to be a deflection into the netting. We've seen Illinois turn to that a lot tonight, not something they've relied on in the past. And again, a testament to their speed, something they've been able to improve throughout the season. Atticus Helfer sidewinds that pass, trying to play the ricochet game, cut off by David Ettingen now, and unable to handle that. Now DeCola tries to clear. Helfer forces a man off the puck, DeCola back with it. And some activity on the blue line in front of the Illinois bench. Down on his rear, that appears to be Atticus Helfer. And this might force another penalty. Into the box is Evan Brown. So penalties, really the lone blemish tonight for Illinois. For Alabama, yet another instance of how they continue to shoot themselves in the foot tonight. 1:20 left here in this second period. Illinois looks to turn a 3-goal lead into a 4-goal lead. Top line on right now as Bogdanoff won the faceoff. Joe Dorian fed it back to Atticus Helfer. Matt Vive, the holdover from the second line, feeds it to the far side. Anderson's shot goes wide. Running after the chase that down on the near side, Matt Vive, he keeps it in. Over to Bogdanoff at the half wall. Bogdanoff looking to delegate before he feeds it back to the point. Matt Vive to Helfer. Helfer thought about going in, trying to find the man in the middle there, tried for a little touch there, couldn't get one. Illinois retrieves it in the trapezoid, back to Matt Vive near side. Illini tried for a tic-tac-toe in the slot, couldn't get it. Now Helfer thought about it, they're keeping it to the outside now. Anderson, Helfer, shot, tried to get the deflection from Bogdanoff, but it went wide. Again, credit to Illinois here. The power play, they've been able to reset the puck very quickly. From shot to rebound to applying the pressure once again on the outside. Matt Vive fans, second attempt, still in the crease and still alive. And unable to handle that one right in front there was Dorian. Before play will cease as it appeared a little shaken up there was Molopal. Ralph Mundy also talking things over with his netminder as he collided right behind Weiler after that last shot attempt from Sasha Matviv. 1:03 left on the power play, just over 10 minutes left in the second period. Face off again between Bogdanoff and Parker King. Still being fought for in the dot. Matt Vive provides some help, and now Bogdanoff has to evade the linesman and Austin Fink to gather that. Helfer thought about it, now sends it to the far side for Nick Anderson. His shot deflected too high, and play stopped as some more shoving back and forth in front of Aaron Weiler. Again, credit to Illinois. They have displayed quite an impeccable ability, really since the start of the second period last night and continuing into tonight, where after they fire a power play shot, they're in the right place to grab the rebound very quickly. And then they send it back to the point and reset, really all in a matter of 3 to 5 seconds, giving this Alabama defense no time to rest. Again, something Tide fans are unfortunately all too familiar with this season. Helfer back at that point. Now fires in, looked for a deflection, it went wide. Anderson right there again, great placement there. Atticus Helfer looks to get it out of harm's way, back to Anderson. Helfer all the way from the blue line. Weiler says no. 15 seconds left on the minor penalty. Now Matt Vive circles back, and Helfer will delegate again. Now he'll fire, saved by Weiler again. Looking for a feed off a centering pass, deflected off of his own man right there, off the shot from Alec Bogdanoff. We're back to 5-on-5, but again, Illinois still able to control as if it were a power play. As Helfer sends one in, that puck's still alive. Unable to handle that fresh off the bench, Andrew McLean. Zhuzebetkov going around, no call there as he got tripped, and Alabama back the other way with numbers. 4-on-3 and a shot. Save made, unable to get it in for a rebound chance there was Parker King. Back comes Illinois, a 1-on-2, becomes a 3-on-2. Zhuzebetkov, Bogdanoff, save made off the top from Weiler. Looking for a feed right in front, it goes right to Parks Wallace, and he will deny that rebound chance. Now the other side, forcing Zhuzebetkov off the puck, there is Max Sextro. Helfer does the same for him. Now Bogdanoff. Aiden Taylor running after that one. He evades Louis DeCola. And a lot of activity there, some slashes back and forth. In the middle of that, that was Frank Adante and Louis DeCola. DeCola's helmet is off. Some shoves after that between him and Frank Adante. And let's see who gets called here. Will it be another penalty for Alabama? Yes, it will. Tekola, a helmetless Tekola, into the box for the tie. The third power play for Illinois in probably about 6 minutes of game time. What more can be said than what has already, as the Tide continue to shoot themselves in the foot here in this second period. The Illini looking to cash in. They've been unsuccessful on the last two, as that face-off rolls all the way around. Greg Simmons harassing Nathan Dash, trying to get him off the puck. Verassi comes out to help Dash, although Simmons nearly had the upper hand. And another penalty. Interference the call, as Simmons and Verassi alongside Nathan Dash for Illinois were going at it back and forth in the trapezoid. And another man in the fray who will end up in the box for Illinois, it's Zhuzhebetkov. So a little bit of Illinois shooting themselves in the foot here, and it becomes a 4-on-4. 8 minutes left here in a penalty-laden second period. Again, too many for Alabama, and the lone blemish being certainly too many for Illinois. You know, both I'd say are true. You know, being the nature of being a physical team, you should expect that. At the same time, maybe still one or two too many for John Opilka, because as physical as you can play, the better teams will take advantage of that. It is a form, despite being able to boast of a good penalty kill and physical play, it is a form of giving your opponent life and allowing them to try and take advantage of a statistical mistake. Nick Anderson now gains the zone and fires one off the helmet of Weiler. Illinois still able to control 4-on-4 for the next 65 seconds. Navigating through traffic, Verassi, he scores! From the half wall on the far side, he circled all the way around, back to the high slot, and then he sent that through. His 4th goal on the weekend, and his 9th on the season. So now that becomes 4-0, and Illinois is finally able to take advantage in the special teams. They had really 3 or 4 chances, 3 or 4 separate power plays in the second period, and now they cash in, much like how their first goal was in the first period on a 4-on-4. And again, Illinois was able to kill a 5-minute major late in the first period that seems to have stifled Alabama since. Dorian now, as Illinois is having their way with these cross-ice passes. They've had their way with it pretty much the entire game, ever since that touch pass that was responsible for the first goal. Now they'll send it through again, looking to play the deflection game, but Parks Wallace beats Luke Alpe to it. Now Nate Byron on the near side. Alpe lays a hit on him, trying to take him away from the play. Alabama still controls. Another touch pass attempt there, although Wallace unable to make anything happen. Aiden Taylor trying to harass him in the corner. 50-50 puck battle pulled out towards the half wall. A lot of red sweaters right there to help. One of them grabs it and moves it towards the trapezoid. Good defense there by Atticus Helfer to force a chance. Now a sidewinder there denied off the stick of Lopez. Back to 5-on-5 here with 6 minutes left in the second period. And Weiler has to get active with the stick. Atticus Helfer with a beautiful play. Beautiful poke check to take that away from Calvin Mansfield. Before he goes down, before he helicopters down in his own D zone. Able to hold on to it, Aiden Taylor, and that shot goes wide. Able to hold on to it again is Andrew McLean at the far side. Alabama being increasingly physical here as a few men go down. Still slow to get up at his own blue line there. Before he rejoins the play is Nick Anderson. Alabama becoming increasingly physical, returning to their roots, you could say, over the last 5 minutes. Delayed penalty here coming for that hit on Anderson. So Illinois will have 6 on 5, and they will have another power play once the Tide touch the puck. And now they will. Either the 4th or more likely the 5th power play for Alabama in this period. And as the Tide will want to clean things up for their final week of the regular season, next weekend at home against McKendree, you'll imagine that's going to be something that Michael Fairbanks and Ian Haybert are going to heavily emphasize during the week. You can imagine something that's going to be harangued over and over in the Alabama clubhouse. Nate Byron takes that away off the face-off, and he will kill some time here. Into the box is Evan Brown for the hit on Nick Anderson. Brown has spent multiple shifts in the box this period, as has Jensen Lopez. Able to get around a man there on the far side is the aforementioned Anderson. Back to the point. Helfer and Anderson play catch. Helfer back with it, over to Matveev. Helfer, Anderson, and Matveev. Those have been the periphery players tonight for Illinois, and they have done a great job swinging the puck back and forth. Illinois has also tried to find Alec Bogdanoff in the middle multiple times tonight in the diamond formation as Matveev fires. And again, Nick Anderson immediately going back to that far side half wall. Again, the placement of Illinois on the power play to be able to reset very quickly has been on point tonight, just as the puck handling was last night. Matveev now back in that spot. Bogdanoff looks to get back towards the middle as he feeds it to Helfer. Matveev and the near side dot. And the shot turned aside by Weiler. Now Atticus Helfer. Bogdanoff in the middle fires. Full body block there. Off the ankle, it appeared, of Ralph Mundy. That might be one he'll feel in the morning. Abbreviated line change for both teams. We're within 40 seconds here. Bogdanoff, little three-man weave, unable to hold on to that Helfer. Helfer with a poke check, though, to salvage the possession for Illinois before that becomes a 1-on-3 and the Tide control. Slow to get up right there, and holding on to his right hand there is Ben Wilcoxon on the far side. He is still shaken up, although now he goes after that puck and backhands it into the Illinois zone. He will head to the bench in pain. Inside of 10 seconds now as David Ettingen has that. Bailey McCarthy with a shot, save made, caroms into the slot before it's taken down by Alabama, and that will end that power play. So Illinois 3 for 4 in the last 10 minutes. Again, 4 power plays they have had, and probably the top item Alabama's going to look to clean up as they head into next weekend. As we've now hit the 2.5-minute mark of remaining time here in the second period as McCarthy finishes off Jensen Lopez into the boards. Alabama trying to rush across. Bailey McCarthy trying to force a man off the puck. He cannot. Illinois doing a great job, though, however, as the Tide have tried to work the trapezoid in this game, and Illinois has denied them at a lot of centering passes. That shot deflected off his own man there, trying to keep it in Sextro, but Illinois able to clear. Huge hit in the open ice in front of the Illinois bench as a shot fired and a save made from Aaron Weiler. And to go back to that point, we saw the Tide working on a lot of plays in the trapezoid. They worked on centering passes. They worked on little 2-3-man weaves playing as a unit. We saw them do a lot of that in the opening skate and in warm-ups. And Illinois has done a great job. You can point to 3 players tonight in particular who have been responsible for that. Luke Alpe, Atticus Helfer, and Nick Anderson. They've done a great job of, when Alabama has tried to work the trapezoid, of forcing them to go all the way around and keep it along the boards. They have turned centering pass attempts into resetting back at the point. As we've now hit the 2-minute mark, again, Illinois has tacked on 2 more in this second period. now face off back in the Alabama zone. The Tide finally get a face off to go their way. Again, that has been another problem of theirs tonight. Nate Brown still holding on to the puck now. Check that, Evan Brown, as he fed it over to Nate Byron. Brown collides in front with Luke Alpe. Going down as well right there was Chris Molopal, although the Tide able to hold on to it. Nathan Dash sends a man down as he tries to run after that, although the Tide control the puck again. Circling around Molopal. Now Alpe in the trapezoid. Tide trying to send one in. Illinois crowding the slot there defensively, and it paid off as play whistled dead with 81 seconds left in the second. Face-off caroms out now into neutral ice. Illinois gains the zone. Now trying to manage to get that close, but too many red sweaters in the way for a rebound chance there from Illinois. 60 seconds left now as Alabama tries to play the ricochet game. Rolled all the way around now. Matthew McDonald running after that for Illinois. Illinois content to slow the game down. And again, Alabama has produced more 50-50 puck battles tonight. We talked about that in the open because that helped them slow the pace down, slow Illinois down and control the pace last night. They've turned to it tonight, but it hasn't helped. As now Ben Wilcoxon will kill some more time. Ralph Mundy will do the same. Playing catch in their own D zone. Wilcoxon gets it out on the far side. He's forced into the glass by Zhuzhebetkov. Now Matt Vive will look to do the same in his own D zone, although he turns it over. Navigating through traffic there, Sextro, although he has it forced away from him. That nearly developed into a 2-on-1 for Illinois, but nothing doing there as the second period comes to a close. 2 more goals for Illinois from Alexander Matviv and Anthony Verassi. It was a penalty-laden second period, and Illinois went 1 for 4 on the power play in that time. The Illini controlling the face-offs, the Illini continuing to be the faster and more physical team. A little bit of brief light there for Alabama in the beginning as it looked like they had found an answer with the transition hockey, but Illinois' third goal came in exactly that manner. And Alabama continues to get shut out on possible solutions in this game. 4-0 in favor of the Illini after 40 minutes. We'll be back for the third period shortly. Illinois has outshot Alabama 22-11, and they have scored 4 goals in that time compared to none for the Tide. And really a statistical marvel to consider is really before the game went out of hand, really until garbage time in yesterday's game, Alabama only had 17 shots up until about the 5-minute mark in the third. Now tonight, only 11, and Illinois has done a great job again controlling the neutral zone, denying them really the ability to get anything set. A lot of that has also been face-off wins and continuing to be the more physical team around the boards. Again, the Alabama Crimson Tide are one of the toughest kids in the ACHA neighborhood, and Illinois is also a very physical team, but has beaten them at their own game certainly tonight. One of the many factors that have contributed already to this 4-0 score as we are underway here. Atticus Helfer on the near side sends that back around now. And Verassi trying to move around traffic. That one gets towards the corner. Taking that away now in the trapezoid, Louis DeCola, before he flips that back into the Illinois zone. Tried for a centering feed there, but Alabama's still able to control it at the point. They get it back in. Brown with a shot. Full body block there. And slow to get up off of that, Zhuzhabetkov, before it's back to Anthony Verassi in neutral ice. A fight for it in front of the score box. Illinois able to feed it into the Alabama zone before that's sent into the corner on the near side. Alabama looks too clear, and they do. Neutral ice battle, Joe Dorian and Nate Brown, as that one trickles back towards the Illinois trapezoid. Dorian with some help from Alpi, and they will feed it back to David Ettingen. Illinois with a lot of short passes. We really saw them show that off in the second period. Towards the beginning of that second period, that is. And now Luke Alpi, content to kill time. Again, up 4 goals here with a minute having gone by in the third period. Alpi and Dorian, yet another defensive line pairing for Illinois. We have seen so many different pairings for the Illini over the last 4 weeks with multiple injuries. One of them, Nick Anderson. Harrison Slovic has been out over the last 2 games as well. So you expect those to continue until Illinois can get fully healthy. And 2, that has required Atticus Helfer going back into defense instead of playing his normal position at left wing as David Ettingen fires one in. Weiler will turn it aside, and Alabama will still control. Taking a tumble there is the shooter Ettingen. And now on the other side, Austin Fink circles back. Tried to find a man in the slot, taken away by Aiden Taylor. And he will look to rush back the other way, albeit a 2-on-4. Taylor converges with Andrew McLean, tried to get that one in before he takes a bump and bumps the net in the process. Again, it's been a long road to consistency for Illinois, but you can certainly make the case that they have finally had it. Really the first 3 or 4 weeks coming into the new semester, and to an extent, the previous semester as well. In the games before the calendar flipped to 2024, it was the exact same. It's a trend that was off and on, the discrepancies between Friday and Saturday. They looked like 2 completely different teams on those 2 days, with the differences being the speed, the puck handling, and the physicality. And it's something that didn't really become a trend until, call it November or December. It really popped its head up for the first time out of the ground in a series against Michigan State in the second week of the season for Illinois. It went off and on a little bit there. They had a few losing streaks, a few winning streaks. And then it really started to manifest itself as a shot there from Emmett Joy towards the late end of the 2023 calendar year. It was at its greatest. The Friday-Saturday discrepancy is another shot there, trying for the rebound. And now he will control. That is Joe Dorian. Illinois operating at a 5-on-4 here in the box. Craig Simmons as Bogdanov sends that one wide. It's a phenomenon that really manifested as that one went close from Atticus Helfer. Really at its peak against DePaul, and the week after as well, the Purdue Northwest series for Illinois, just a month and change ago. And you go back to that Purdue Northwest series 2 weeks ago, it was the opposite. Friday was the flawless game for Illinois, and Saturday was anything but. So you go into the next weekend thinking, is that going to be a little bit of a fluke? And then the McKendree series, trouble for both Friday and Saturday. McKendree, very good team, and a team that Alabama will get to know next week on their home ice to round out the regular season, as we're 30 seconds inside here, the power play, as that one goes too high from Bogdanov. So now, the script flips. Then you go 2 poor games in a row and you wonder, is that a little bit of a fluke as Alabama rushes the other way? And this is the first weekend, really, for Illinois where they have been able to show that consistency and pretty much flawless play on both Friday and Saturday. It appears they have solved that conundrum. All 3 litmus tests hit last night, and they certainly have tonight for Illinois. And so you go next weekend into a team that most likely has a playoff spot locked in Illinois State. They'll still be fighting, it seems, for their lives with seeding and perhaps the ability to gain an automatic bid in the ACHA tournament. So as much as Illinois has been able to achieve that consistency, it will again be tested next week against a top 15 team. Both of those games, Friday and Saturday, will be here in the Big Pond. Games 5 and 6 of a 6-game homestand to round out the regular season for Illinois. Zhuzhebetkov fires from the near side, deflected, sending that one on goal Adante, but it goes past everybody. Turning that around now and getting the zone with a burst of speed, Jensen Lopez trying to go around a man, lead pass, too hot to handle there as Parker King off his feet goes into the boards. Zhuzhebetkov now in the spot where King planted into the glass. Feeds it across now for Connor Lawson. Trying to take that one away now from Louis DeCola. And now a rush for it on the other end. Zhuzhebetkov right there alongside Chris Molopov. Another 50-50 puck battle again. There have been a lot of the puck battles, but they haven't really slowed Illinois down in this game. Unable to handle that one, Connor Lawson, and in the wrong place at the wrong time there as he was whistled for a trip. Mansfield feeds it in. Save made by Mazurek. Lawson tried to dash after that one. He ended up on all fours and inadvertently in the process tripping an Alabama player. So he will head to the box, and 5.5 minutes into this third period, Alabama will get a power play. Again, at about the 5-minute mark, in last night's game, after the game was already out of reach, you saw the Tide start to experiment with a few more offensive formations. They had the top line in, even though it was quote-unquote garbage time, and they had a lot of players crowding the crease in front, and it seemed to produce a lot of good results. We expected them to carry that over into today. They've crowded the crease maybe 2 or 3 times on defense on the penalty kill, but they have not on the power play. Very surprised to see that carry out thus far. 45 minutes into this hockey game, and now arguably down 4 goals with 15 minutes left. The game probably out of reach. Let's see if the Tide experiment into that, and watch keenly if you're an Alabama fan. What is working well for the Tide that they can apply going into next weekend against a staunch McKendree team? Again, Alabama has not won in roughly 4 months, looking to stop the bleeding and end the regular season next week victorious. So what can they do well right here that can carry over into that next week's contest? Trying to force Evan Brown off the puck, but Brown holds onto it. Now on the far side, back to the point. Bilodeau sends it over. Trying to feed that one in. The man in the middle on the diamond formation there was Austin Fink. And having to run that down, Greg Simmons. Simmons gets in, deflected by Nick Anderson, and swallowed up by Ben Mazurek. Another thing Alabama will look to fix going into the next week is last night Illinois really managed to shut off the second line. It was only the top line, headlined by Greg Simmons, that was really producing for the Tide. Tonight hasn't been much all the way around. And so getting the top line going certainly goes without saying, but again, how can you continue to get those two middle lines producing for the Tide? Simmons to the far side. Wallace, too many deflections. In front there is Fink, and he scores on the rebound. Austin Fink cashes in off of a few redirects and a rebound there. And Alabama cashes in on the power play. 6 minutes and change into the third period. It's now a 4-1 game as Fink fired that high from a few feet away. Again, Alabama sending bodies in front. They finally turn to it here, not really by choice, perhaps more by circumstances. That puck lingered a little bit there in the blue paint, but again, something they can carry over for the rest of this game and into next week against McKendree. Face-off won by Illinois. Atticus Helfer delaying a little bit before he feeds it into Matveev. Alabama controls Matthew McDonald right there as well before it's sent across and becomes a souvenir. Parks Wallace and Evan Brown on the assists there for the goal, again coming from starting defenseman Austin Fink. And we talked about for Illinois how there have been a lot of defensive pairings. Well, there also have been for Alabama. It's been a little bit of Ryan Matustik and Parks Wallace back and forth with Fink as well, as a delayed penalty coming here. And right after you win a battle, you shoot yourselves in the foot again if you're Alabama. So Illinois will go back on the power play just 6 seconds after Alabama has scored a goal. And if that doesn't sum up the night for the Crimson Tide, I don't know what will. Louis DeCola will shut the door. And he will be in the box for the next 2 minutes. Top line out for Illinois. And again, more mixing and matching. Joe Dorian alongside Nick Anderson and Atticus Helfer. A lot of 3 defense looks for Illinois throughout the season, even with the power play, and that's been a testament to their versatility. One of those men there who's moved from defense to left wing in the sort of Brent Burns role for this team. Nick Anderson fired it there from the near side, no dice. The other one of those players, Atticus Helfer, did so just now from the right. And nothing doing. Helfer back with it with Anderson to his left. Over to Matveev. He fires one off the glass too high. Now chasing it down on the near side, Helfer. We have seen that combination get involved so many times tonight. Helfer with Matveev as he scores right there, right on cue. Helfer and Matveev active again. Another power play goal for Illinois. 5-1 your score. Right on cue. We have seen Atticus Helfer with Matveev to his right and Anderson to his left and Bogdanov in the middle of the diamond formation. That has been the power play tonight for Illinois. So many times those guys have gotten involved. A very veteran-heavy lineup. We've seen Atticus Helfer at different times of the season for Illinois get involved with Nathan Dash and Harrison Slovic on either side of him. Gregory Ettingen, at the beginning of the season, that was probably Illinois' best chemistry move on the power play, was Gregory Ettingen and Atticus Helfer. And with Atticus Helfer delegating at the center point as Illinois tries to retain the puck here, we have seen Helfer combine with so many players throughout this season. And Illinois not only has been able to diversify the defensemen who have been able to play closer at the wing, as we talked about just a minute ago, they have also been able to diversify their power play combinations. That is a feeling that will make any coach rest well at night. The feeling, the fact, you know that you have so many different combinations you can turn to. Those two areas, again, the left defense to left wing transition for many of these players, one. 2, the power play combinations, and 3, the fact that so many more players have taken the faceoff. Probably 8 different players have been involved so heavily on the faceoff for Illinois this season. A lot of diversification of the roles and spreading out of the love from John Opilka and his staff, and it has paid off in spades for Illinois. You know, you think on the faceoff front in particular, as a shot there from the point, that one goes through Weiler, but around. And that one will end up into the netting. You think especially from the faceoff point, although it applies to the other 2 areas where Illinois has grown in the combinations of players that they can use, you'd expect to see a drop in production, in quality, as players like Patrick McDonough, who aren't really involved on faceoffs before, Gregory Ettingen, who had played a lot of left wing growing up in his time, Atticus Helfer, who had barely taken faceoffs in his first 3 years with Illinois, as left defense, at left wing, playing a little bit of centerman as well at times this season. Again, for 4 forward lines, you've probably had double that amount, 8 players involved to a large extent on the faceoffs this year for Illinois. And again, you'd think you'd see a drop in quality, but the results have been pretty comparable. Really, the only time there was a considerable drop was when Alexander Matveev was injured earlier in the season. Other than that, Matveev has been healthy, and you've been able to share the love. Matveev has it now, although a bit of a lackadaisical clear will allow Illinois to delay a little bit more. Atticus Helfer on the near side. 9 minutes having gone by here in the 3rd period. Both teams have traded a goal, and it remains a 4-goal game. Body check right there from Ryan Matustik to the near side blue line. Illinois content to do this for as long as the clock runs. Helfer makes a man miss. That's Bolapaw on the far side. Illinois able to get it in, get the benefit of a redirect from the linesman, but Alabama with the last laugh. Near side, Louis DeCola. Dropped down by Zhuzhebetkov. Alabama still controlling. DeCola in the trapezoid, although he's met by 2 blue sweaters. Back out to the point now, turning that around for a shot. Nowhere near it. And now Zhuzhebetkov will clear again. Beautiful feed, halfway the length of the ice to Verassi. Verassi getting around traffic. Odd angle, and that backhand turned aside. Now Illinois looking to clear. Verassi pokes that away. 2-on-2 here. First one to get it, however, and clear it was Max Eckstein. Again for Alabama, Eckstein and Ralph Mundy, 2 of the players you're going to watch coming into tonight, as Anthony Verassi still able to hold on to it, and Weiler says no. 2 of the players on that second line who were quieted last night. Eckstein has been quiet again. Mundy not so much, with a few signature mistakes, one of them contributing to an Illinois goal in the first period. Anderson near side. Fires there and wide. Nathan Dash looking to play the ricochet game, gets it to David Ettingen in the far side corner. Ettingen goes around Ben Wilcoxon to hold on to it. Circles back again, gains some more separation in the process. Wide open feed to Anderson, he fires one that gets deflected, still alive, too high in front as Ettingen tried to get stick to puck. Too many bodies in the way, however. Alabama looks to clear, Nick Anderson pokes it in, David Ettingen again. Fresh off a line change, Ettingen right in front. Andrew McLean has it now, sends it back around. Now Helfer at the far side. Ettingen with Bailey McCarthy to his left before it's taken away by a red sweater. Mundy right there, can he clear it? Yes, he can. 3-on-2 here, 2 men to the right of Ralph Mundy. Looking for a feed right in front, still alive, taken away by Atticus Helfer. Illinois didn't force them away for the centering passes there. Alabama had 2 men right in front, and that's a play both teams will look at in film. One being, you didn't force them to the outside in Illinois' case, and in Alabama's case, you had 2 men right in front, you couldn't convert. Now Aslan Zhuzhebetkov sends it in, deflected back towards the Alabama net. Austin Fink, and cleared. Continual poke checks back and forth before Zhuzhebetkov controls, and now Alexander Matveev near side. Matveev with options to his right, feeds it to Dorian, although play whistle dead as Andrew McLean is down on his knees. And some more tussling back and forth on the near side. Joe Dorian not very happy with the linesman, talking things over. And so Joe Dorian, frustrated with the linesman, he will end up in the box for 2 minutes. Again, we've mentioned it many times. That's probably been Illinois' lone blemish tonight. Too many penalties. Again, it's the nature of being a more physical team, and you have to be able to absorb retaliatory hits. You have to be able to have a great penalty kill as well. That being said, those two things can be true at once, that it happens with physicality, but still 6 or 7 penalties tonight for Illinois, including one 5-minute major. Too much to really keep any coach satisfied in that department. So something for Illinois to work on, as they'll have 13th ranked Illinois State coming into town next weekend. And again, the better teams will take advantage of the life that you give them. Alabama's last power play resulted in a goal. They're down 4 with 7 minutes, 45 seconds left. They look to get one more here and build into their final weekend of the regular season, Friday and Saturday against McKendree. Shot there from Mansfield on the near side, taken down, and that will force another penalty in front. Now Nick Anderson and Chris Molapaw jaw. Molapaw was taken down in the near side corner, appeared to be by Nick Anderson. And Illinois not letting up on any of the physicality fronts here, up 4 goals with 7.5 minutes left. 5-on-3 here now for the Tide. Again, Illinois was able to kill 5 minutes of 5-on-4 in the first period. Similar circumstances here, although a greater dose packed into a shorter amount of time. 1:45 of 5-on-3 with Joe Dorian and Nick Anderson in the box for Illinois. Alexander Matveev set to take the face-off, and again, a lot of the onus will be on him with Dorian into the box to prevent a lot of the rebound chances. Alabama a bit more deliberate, not surprised given it's a 5-on-3. They're working their way closer into the slot. Now Parks Wallace forced back out. Tried to find the man in the middle there. Illinois doing a good job denying them from that fact. That one deflected to the near side and cleared by Sasha Matveev. 7 minutes left here in the third period. And 1:15 left on the 5-on-3. Working around is Wallace, circling back towards the far side corner. Austin Fink is the man in the middle. They're in the diamond formation on this 5-on-3, and he scores in front. Greg Simmons for the second time this weekend. Quick passes that time, and Simmons goes top shelf in on Ben Mazurek. Now 5-2 with 6.5 minutes left. So now a 5-on-3 becomes a 5-on-4 for one more minute of time. And Alabama with their second power play goal of the evening. That will be the 10th on the season for Greg Simmons. He was the lone source of scoring for Alabama last night, and really until this third period, Alabama, although they had gotten a lot of decent chances in on Ben Mazurek, rather the chances they had were decent, they were open. Didn't have a lot in number, but the ones that they did have were quality chances, that is. Still hadn't really been able to convert. Illinois had shut them down for really the middle 4 periods of this series. As Aaron Weiler out of the net, and Illinois nearly finished the job right there. Desperation time here for the Tide. 6-on-4 for the next 15 seconds. Trying to hold on to that one. Stick check right there. Matt Vive navigating that through traffic. He'll be content to kill more time. 1 on 3 here. Can he clear it? Yes, he can. Now Max Eckstein turns around on the near side. Simmons tried for another touch pass, another feed in front. Mazurek was 3 feet away from the blue paint. He was out to stop that one, and it went wide. Matt Vive trying to corral it. The net is still empty. Now 6 on 5 here for Alabama as that one goes wide and iced. Again, the scoring totals for tonight. Alexander Matveev with 2 for Illinois. Aslan Zhuzhabetkov again started just a few games ago, only in his 6th game with Illinois. Making the jump from the 3rd line to the top line. He got his first goal in an Illini uniform tonight. Matthew McDonald and Anthony Verassi as well on the ticker for Illinois. And then in the 3rd period for the Tide, it's been Austin Fink and Greg Simmons. Aaron Weiler is back in net for the Tide, so 5 on 5 for the next 5 minutes to round out this game. The aforementioned Zhuzhabetkov rushing quickly across the ice, goes around 2 men, although unable to split the last 2 members of the Tide defense. Nearly had it taken away. Matthew McDonald comes to his aid. Now McDonald forcing it and harassed on either side. Fink, one of the goal scorers for the Tide tonight, takes it away. And now Alabama moving in a unit, crowded heavily on the far side. Grant Alheim has it, feeds it into the zone, but feeds it to nobody. Zhuzhabetkov with a backhand clear. 4.5 left here in this 3rd period. Illinois up 3. Taken away by McDonald. Tried to feed it in front. Couldn't get stick the puck there. Still alive in the trapezoid, but 3 red sweaters to 1 blue one. But Alabama nonetheless still turns it over as McDonald can't get anything there. 3 on 1, and they still turned it over, something the Tide are going to want to fix. Wallace tried to feed it in front. Too much traffic in the way there. Good denial there from Luke Alpe. 4-minute mark is upon us here now as Alpe forced to the outside. Harassed by Parks Wallace. Illinois doing a good job when Alabama is keeping them to the outside. They're going towards the puck, providing outlets here, and it's effectively the equivalent of a quarterback firing off quick passes. The defense rushes to the puck handler, and the pass is fired off quickly. Oh, we got to do it all over again. It tires out a defense. It has that exact same effect, and Illinois has done a good job of denying that tonight. Denying Alabama's ability to really force them into one of their strengths, which is, again, taking away pucks at the point at the half wall. The Tide haven't really shown a forecheck throughout this season. Instead, the turnovers have come in the form of taking away pucks near the point, near that half wall. They tried to do that tonight in forcing Illinois to the outside here as a 2-on-1 and a beautiful save from Mazurek. But Illinois has denied them by just feeding the puck away quickly. And a great job, great positioning for the Illini players to get there to provide those outlets. And again, it tires out the Alabama defense. Now 3 minutes, 15 seconds left. And Illinois' monopoly on the faceoffs continue, no matter who it is in the dot. Aiden Taylor, the man responsible for that win now, forced to the outside again, tried for a wraparound, and that was too strong. Bilodeau pulls it out. Chandler Bilodeau moving with a burst of speed, fires, and a save made off the pad of Mazurek. Bilodeau's been quiet tonight, although basically the entire Alabama team has. He's usually one of the more reliable, steady arms of this Tide squad on the top line. As now the other side, Matt Vive in the near side corner, controls it, trying for a centering pass. That one goes past everybody, pulled out to the dot on the far side. Nobody there for Illinois to collect that rebound, and Alabama will control. 2 minutes, 15 seconds left here in this 3-goal game in the 3rd period. Another 50-50 puck battle again. They've been there, but Illinois has still been able to apply that speed. The Tide were able to control the pace in the first period with those puck battles, and they've occurred tonight as well, but to no change. And really that first period in last night's game, really the only time Alabama has been able to control things in this entire series. They were the more physical team, and they slowed Illinois down. You think with both teams being very physical that both of them will want to play slow, but Illinois has also returned to their speed tonight and last night as a means of producing plenty of chances and plenty of goals. So the physicality and the slowing down of the game were really what gave Alabama the ability to control the puck. And since the second period began last night, it has been all Illinois. They have been the faster team. They have been the more physical team, beating Alabama at probably their greatest strength. As we're inside 90 seconds now, as Zhuzhebetkov goes to corral that. Looking for a lot of cross-ice passes, but Alabama picks that off. Calvin Mansfield on the near side, unable to handle that one, Nate Byron. They're trying to go back in now, but out of position there, and that gives Illinois the puck. Grassi moves around a man. 2-on-2 here as he had Anderson to his left. Touch pass, unable to go. And as we're inside of a minute now, for a team in Alabama that was out-physicaled and out-hit for 5 of 6 periods this weekend, although for a team that still committed way too many penalties, that's not a situation you want to be in, because with all the hits that you're looking to apply, you already dig yourself in a hole with a lot of the penalties. You want to save possible committing of penalties for those hits and for linesmen that might want to call them a bit more strictly, as Matt Veeves' diving shot does not go. So you're in a tough position when you want to play physical, but you're already committing so many penalties, as Weiler has to dive and freeze that with 10 seconds left on the clock. And again, the quest for Michael Fairbanks to move this team away. He's talked about it publicly. They want to move the team away from the more fight-prone aspect of it. They want to make the team more disciplined when the opponents try and punch back. And you can't let that take away from your overall physical playing style. You can't throw out the baby with the bathwater. And so that quest will continue for Alabama. First, you really have to limit the penalties in order to return to your physical play, and of course, control the speed of things as well before you can even think about, as that one goes with 3 seconds left. Before you can even think about reapplying your physical game, you have to slow Illinois down from doing that. Passes galore as Matthew McDonald gets his second goal of the afternoon. Cherry on top with 3 seconds left in the game. And on the other side for Illinois, really the biggest situational takeaway last week from Iowa State, besides the improvement of their litmus test and the slow march towards consistency in solving the Friday-Saturday debacle, was that the Cyclones were able to take away Illinois' ability to crowd the puck and to to crowd the crease and to send a lot of bodies in front. Iowa State was able to deny Illinois at that. This weekend, not so, as Illinois reestablished their down-low presence, and it contributed to more than half of their 11 goals in this weekend series. The first sweep for Illinois in 4 months. And conversely, it's been that long since Alabama has come out on top in a game. The 12-game losing streak will look to be snapped next week on senior night, Friday and Saturday against McKendree. And Illinois will look to build up a little bit of mojo on their own as they end the season next weekend against 13th ranked Illinois State. And maybe they hope to put a dent in their rivals' playoff chances. The goals again in this one for Alabama coming from Fink and Simmons, the captain. For Illinois, 2 from Matt Vive, 2 from McDonald, along with Anthony Verassi and Aslan Zhuzhabetkov. Ben Mazurek didn't have to be Superman for Illinois this weekend with how many cross-ice saves and stretch saves he has had to make on the season. He didn't have to do that a lot tonight. And that's because Illinois was able to limit the Tide in a lot of shots and control the neutral zone. Illinois had full control on it for, again, 5 of 6 periods in this game. And the adjustments they made in the first intermission last night proved to be the difference, and they never looked back. Final score for the final time, 6-2 in favor of the Illini, their first sweep of a weekend series in 4 months. For all of us in the broadcasting crew, that will do it for us, and we'll see you next week as the Illini take on Illinois State. This is George Corey saying so long, and until then, as the Illini come out victorious at home.